Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. It's December 10th, and it's Thursday. And with our guest with us today is Carlos Juarez, who just last week was sworn in as the new mayor of Santa Paula. So, good morning. How are you doing, Carlos? Congratulations.
Peggy, thank you very much. I'm very honored and humbled by this, being the mayor. As you know, I grew up in Santa Paula, and what an opportunity that Santa Paula has given me and many people over the years. And just to, from humble beginnings to where I'm at now, I'm just honored and thrilled and looking forward to this year. Yes, I am looking forward to this year, even with what we're facing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can imagine. And also, I forgot to mention, you've got a lot of knowledge about the city because you were with the Santa Paula Police Department for just about 30 years. And when you retired, you were lieutenant. So you've seen the city inside, outside, and all sorts of different angles.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to work for 4 different chiefs and a whole bunch of officers. And believe it or not, I've been retired 9 years now. And every once in a while, I really miss it.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, and you had the best retirement party. I remember that. That was too great. We won't even go into that. So anyway, so what are you looking forward to as being mayor? What do you think is the top priority now for the city? And of course, we know what you're going to say is COVID, but
well, you don't want to say that COVID is the catch-all for everything, but it
right.
certainly made a big impact on a lot of different things this year. We've missed out on so many things. The city, the children, students, businesses, you just don't know where to begin. And they're trying to make it work. And for the most part, we haven't seen too many businesses close. One thing we have seen is people doing things different and making things work, either in their social patterns or in their work patterns. I mean, many people are working from home. As you see, the council works from home. Yes. It's a challenge, and technology, we're all getting a crash course in technology and, being able to function over a TV screen. So again, what do we have to look forward to this year? Well, obviously we all look forward to when COVID will at least subside or go away and things will go back to some sort of normalcy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's ever going to be a new normal. I think there'll always be that fear that it could resurrect itself. And I mean, I could just tell you from my perspective, this is probably the first year that I didn't catch a cold all year long.
Yeah.
So it says something about, interactions with people and, trying to maintain cleanliness and distancing and now with masks. It's more unusual to see somebody without a mask than it was before when you randomly see somebody with it. And, it's making everybody work together for a common good. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we went from the days where if you went into a store and you were wearing a mask, they'd call a cop. And nowadays, if you go into a store without a mask, they might call a cop. So, it just goes to show you how these things change, but I'm proud of Santa Paulans. I mean, I know we've been having gatherings that are a problem. That's all over the county. But in the most part, I see everybody really adhering to the guidelines. Now, and speaking of COVID, I know that the city, along with Ventura County, is looking to perhaps break away a little bit from some state mandates. Do you want to talk to us about that with the regional approach?
Yes. Well, as you know, Dave, the governor and the health officer of California has grouped different counties together, and we're grouped in with a large section of Southern California. I mean, including Los Angeles, Orange County, all those areas, and even us, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo County. And so they take the average of all those cities, and that's where they come up with their goals for either, different tiers of the shutdown. And because the ICU rates are such that, we don't have a minimum capacity, they're making us go into the purple stage again. Mm-hmm. So what the counties are doing, and even the cities, are sending a letter to the health officer of California saying, look, why don't you look at Ventura County, Santa Barbara County, and San Luis Obispo County as their own entity, group us together and make us responsible for our, ICU capabilities and our infection rate. And so they send off this letter, but, and they know that because we're in the lockdown, there's not going to be any action on it until we're out of the purple stage. And then hopefully, maybe they'll let us be our own entity. And the reason that's important is because we're certainly different than the LA basin. I mean, you're in down LA, you drive 2-3 blocks, you're in the next city. You drive a few more miles, you're in the next county. Here we have green belts, we have open spaces, we have mountain ranges. that separates us. So that should mean something. Just to, you know, so that way if somebody up there in, you know, California, the capital says, well, let's look at Santa Paula and that area, they'll say, wow, look at all that open space in between them. Yeah, maybe we should let them be their own, you know, tri-county area to be scrutinized.
Yes, and Ventura County actually has less than a third of the population of just the city of Los Angeles. So it's so hard to compare us at all or even find any commonality. So hopefully, and they do find that. Now, when they had issued the last, as it were, shutdown or stay weeks, so we still have 2 weeks to go.
That is, they realize that it's important for children to, you know, because they're homeschooling, to get exercise. So they've opened up the public parks so that the kids can go, you know, play and exercise. I mean, I look around my neighborhood, I see them riding their bikes and walking, but they really need grass and area to play in. And so they've allowed that as an exception. They're opening up the parks for children and adults, of course.
Mm-hmm. And of course, retail stores are still open. You just have to, you know, they can't be crowded, and restaurants are still open with takeout and delivery. And, you know, it's just, it's not as radical as it was before as far as the shutdown, especially the first shutdown we had, which of course was, you know, COVID's a terrible thing. So you have to sometimes do things that aren't popular, but hopefully we can do things that are wise too.
And it is important to note that because there was such an outcry last time, the church services are going to be allowed outside as well as if peaceful demonstrations.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I know that there was a little consortium with the city and Santa Paula Unified School District and KADY-TV, I guess, is getting, I heard there was some equipment installed over at the high school just today, I believe.
Well, yes, I heard that today. And you know, there's things you don't hear because we're social distancing and having to rely on Zoom. But yes, we were just informed that by Bob from KDY that there was a partnership a while back. And this was when former Councilmember Clint Garman and I were on the 2 and 2 committee with the Unified School District. And they wanted to see if we could utilize some monies that we had available from the city and try to get some equipment and upgrade the equipment at the for the schools. And so what I understand today is now we have some audio and video equipment at the gym at the high school so that when the youth are able to play sports again, even though they might be limited to audience participation and their, you know, parents in the audience, they'll be able to see it from home. So what a great way, again, things that we do to overcome being or having to social distance.
Yes, oh, absolutely. Also, Christmas, we've got Christmas and the holidays coming up. Today's the first day of Hanukkah, and people are certainly not going to be able to celebrate like they have in the past, but you were saying that the city has some very special fun things planned.
Well, they do. Well, you know what? Each year they do the hospice Light Up a Life, and it lights up the tree at 8th and Main. That usually occurs the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Well, that building got sold, so they're working through that. But now we can't gather. But hospice is going to do a ceremony, and it's Thursday the 17th, and it's going to be virtual. So they'll be reading the names as they do every year, and that benefits hospice. And then they will light the tree virtually, and then of course it'll be on every night between 5 and I think 10 p.m. every night. Mm-hmm. And that'll go on until January 1st. So that's something that's very unique to Santa Paula at 8th and Main. And then Rotary, you know, each year does the Christmas baskets where they go out and deliver. But again, because of COVID, it's probably not appropriate to, you know, walking up to people's houses and carrying these boxes. So what Rotary is going to do this year is utilize the community center and Glen City School, and it's going to be a drive-through, kind of like the Halloween event. Folks that have applied for the baskets will drive through, social distancing, very minimal people, a lot of radio communication, and they'll drive up, and people will. Rotarians and optimists and volunteers will come out and hand the family their baskets into their cars, and off they'll go. And that'll, of course, include toys, dry goods, and maybe some food as well. So that's going to happen Sunday the 20th. And if there's any people that don't have cars or unable to get there that day, the police department and probably the fire department will see, or Rotarians will deliver them to the families as needed. And then the final thing, I don't know if you remember, but last year the Parks and Recreation Department had the Santa Tours. The Santa Tours was, we persuaded Santa to come down from the North Pole, and put him into a dune buggy, and they drove him around town, led by the police department. There was a truck from the city with some Christmas music playing, several dune buggies, and a fire truck. And then Santa was in one of the decorated dune buggies, which is a Manx club here in town. And so last year, after the third day, everybody in the Manx club, asked Greg from the Parks Department in Beverly, can we do it again next year? I mean, they wanted to just sign up right there. So they're signed up this year to go out for 3 nights, Thursday the 17th, Friday the 18th, and Saturday the 19th. And it'll be from 5 to 8 p.m. It'll start on the west end, and I think it's from Peck West, and then the second night will be from Peck to 10th, and then the third night will be 10th East.
Oh, that's wonderful. I know that was so much fun. I saw that last year. Now, it seems to me that, do you have a dune buggy, Mayor Juarez?
I do, and I will be participating as well.
Okay, well, wonderful. I'm glad, because I know you got you really well, and the Manx Club goes all out in decorating their dune buggies too. I mean, it's so much fun. It really is. Yeah, well, I'm really happy to hear that. And I know that the Rotary Club is looking specifically too for gifts for teenagers, and there's boxes all over town where people can drop off toys. And but when it comes to teens, they're hoping that people remember them too, because it's not, and as you're well aware, because you've been very involved with that program for years.
Yes, if I can just also say one more thing. This year the Chamber Awards, which were supposed to happen in, I believe, March, that was canceled. So my understanding is that John Marcus in the Chamber and former Mayor Rick Ariza have been working to put together a State of the City, because he didn't get to do it this year. And I believe it's supposed to be on TV here, I think the 21st, but don't quote me on that. But I think there's going to be a virtual awards, because these folks that do so much for our community should be recognized, and we shouldn't wait till next year. And as you know, the Latino Town Hall, they just did their awards, and they recognized several people in the community that go out and volunteer their time and their services and their businesses, and they were recently recognized. So as I said, the work doesn't stop, neither does the volunteerism and the good spirit of Santa Paula. And it's just, we have to recognize these folks. So I'm glad that Latino Town Hall did, and the Chamber is going to recognize those folks as well. Yeah,
I know. The early days of COVID, it was like the day the earth stood still, So now it's still almost a year later, people are catching up, as they should, Now, anything you'd like to add or anything like that? Any thought?
I think we have well, you mentioned earlier about what we have planned for the future, and obviously COVID is the big thing, but we really need to make sure that our people are doing well, whether it's the businesses. So, certainly support the businesses. Today I went out and got take home for Heidi and I to have lunch here at home. And since we can't eat at restaurants, a lot of restaurants in town do have takeout. And so please support the local businesses. And not only that, but also support your neighbors. I mean, encourage people to wear a mask. You don't want to be the hand of authority. I mean, as a police officer, that's kind of what we do, but it really should be on everybody. And this is just me saying this. Everybody should do their best to protect themselves, their family, and their friends. And wearing a mask is so easy. And if we all work on this together, we'll get back to some sense of normalcy. As you know, we got a new council member on board. Leslie Cornejo joined us, and Andy just got elected. So we got, Andy now for 4 years, and Leslie Cornejo for 4 years with us, and Rick Riza and Jenny Crosswhite and myself for another 2 years. And so one of the things that happens here in the upcoming meetings is we have to put together our committees, and then they go forth and try to see what they can do in the community, whether it's a school board committee or the homeless and housing or the facilities and infrastructure. And also, Jenny Crosswhite is in the downtown business improvement district. And I think we really need to focus this next year on trying to make Santa Paula what we all recognize to be, and that's a destination. We know that filming company just came in and did some filming, and I understand they're going to be coming back. And if they can keep coming back and bringing money to Santa Paula, that'll bring tourists. And we've got murals, we got museums, and we just got a great downtown. And so I think we need just to work together to again make Santa Paula a tourist destination.
Absolutely. And and another nice offshoot of tourism too is sometimes very often people move here after they visited Santa Paula. And then, as a matter of fact, one of your neighbors, Dion Anderson and Lucinda, he was filming out here. He was an actor, Dion Anderson, and who's retired now, and he was filming a Matlock TV movie and fell in love with Santa Paula and told Lucinda, and that was that. And they were here a year later and moved. So bingo.
Well, we thought that COVID was, going to stop the home sales, but I think, as you've heard, people are putting their names down and buying houses at Arbor, at Rosewood, and Harvest. And it's amazing. Just people come to Santa Paula and they realize that it's such a great place. It really is. And it's close enough to the ocean that we're not too cold, and it's close enough to the hot places that we're not too hot. I mean, I look at it this way, I think you've said it's a best kept little secret around.
Yeah. We've got Mediterranean weather, and we've got wonderful people, and it's a special place for special people. That's all there is to it. So, well, that's wonderful. Well,
every once in a while when somebody asks me about Santa Paula, I think about this quote, and there's no place like this place anywhere near this place. So this must be the place.
And here we are. Oh, Carlos, thanks so much. I'm glad to see you're bringing your good humor and wisdom to lead the city during the next year as mayor. And once again, I congratulate you. And thank you so much for your visit today. Your first visit as the mayor of Santa Paula. And I want to thank everybody out there for watching. You can see this on kadytv.net. Also on YouTube. When you watch on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe. And on Spectrum Channel 10, the government channel station, cable channel 10, they run these on a regular basis. So you'll be able to watch Carlos and pick up some of his thoughts. And I'll give you his home phone number so you can call him and ask him hard questions. But anyway, Carlos, thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome. Peggy, thank you. Bob, thank you for your time. You guys stay safe, and let's get together in person when we can.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Nice seeing you. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
You too. Thank you.